Hello students, today we will start with another system of our body, that is neuromuscular system. So till now we have discussed the system of heart, system of brain, then we have discussed at the very beginning about the nervous system. So now this is neuromuscular system. So let's begin with the introduction to the neuromuscular system. It includes all the muscles in the body and the nerves serving them. So neuromuscular system, basically it is having muscles and nerves. Every movement of our body require communication between the brain and the muscles. The nervous system provides the link between the thoughts and actions by relaying messages that travel so fast we don't even notice. Nerves and muscles working together as the neuromuscular system make our body move as we want it to move. Next, we'll discuss about the types of muscles. So we have smooth muscles. This is mainly on the basis of their structure and the contractile properties. We have smooth muscles, cardiac muscle and the skeletal muscle. So these three are the basis of, we can say, different types of muscle cells based on the contractile properties and their structure. Now we'll discuss this one by one. So smooth muscles are found in the digestive, circulatory, urinary and reproductive systems. They are controlled by the autonomic nervous system. We have already discussed about the nervous system. So we know what is autonomic nervous system. So smooth muscles are controlled by the autonomic nervous system. They are involuntary controlled and they are smooth in appearance. Next we'll come to cardiac muscle. So muscles of the heart which surrounds the four pumping chambers are mainly the cardiac muscles. The contraction of cardiac muscle provides impetus for the movement of blood through the pulmonary and systemic circulatory systems. They are involuntary controlled and they are striped in appearance. As you can see, they have stripes, or we can say strips in their appearance. So we are calling it as striated in appearance. Then next is skeletal muscle. It is the largest tissue in the body and they account for 40 to 45% of the total body weight. They are attached to the bones, or we can say skeleton of the body. They are controlled by the somatic nervous system. So in this, skeletal muscles are controlled by somatic nervous system. They are also voluntary controlled and they are also having striated in appearance, or we can say stripped appearance. Now we will discuss the major elements that form the neuromuscular system. The major elements that are involved in the control of voluntary movement are the skeletal muscles. Then we have neural control loops. In that we have central nervous system and the peripheral nerves. Now we'll discuss the skeletal muscle anatomy. This you can see figure showing the skeletal muscle. Each muscle cell is known as the muscle fiber. These muscle fibers, when grouped together, are called fasciculi, and these fasciculi are then grouped together to form the muscle. And each end of the muscle cell is, you can see, attached to a bone, if you see in this figure, by a bundle of collagen fibers, and we are calling them as tendons. And also each muscle cell is cylindrical, having a diameter of 10 to 100 micrometers and approximately 1 foot long. So in this, you can see this fasciculi that is forming the muscle fibers are forming fasciculi, and then we have tendons, and finally that tendons are attached to bones. This is the representation of skeletal muscle. Now, what is a muscle fiber? So a muscle fiber, it is composed of number of independent cylindrical elements in the cytoplasm. We can also call it as sarcolemma of the fiber, and they are known as myofibrils. So they are known as myofibrils. You can see in this figure, these are showing myofibrils, and these myofibrils, they further consist of smaller myofilaments which form a regular repeating pattern along the length of the muscle fiber. And one unit of this repeating pattern, you can see it is known as sarcomere. So here it is showing sarcomere, which is one repeating pattern. Then what is sarcomere? In a little bit more detail we'll see. It is the functional unit of the contractile system in muscle, and the events occurring in the sarcomere are duplicated in other sarcomeres along the myofibrils. So these are the repeated patterns. An event occurring in one sarcomere, it will be duplicated to the other sarcomeres along the myofibrils. Now, each sarcomere is composed of thick and thin filaments, like what we have seen, actin and myosin. These are thick and thin filaments arranged as a repeating pattern along their length. Thick filaments are composed primarily of the protein myosin, and the thin filaments are made up of another three proteins that are troponin, tropomyosin and actin. Another we have, you can see this endomysium. This is endomysium. This is a fibrous tissue envelope that surrounds each muscle fiber. So that is endomysium. Then we have, you can see perimysium. This is perimysium, which surrounds each fasciculi. Then we have epimysium, which covers the entire muscle. So this is epimysium, which covers the entire muscle. So this is the structure of skeletal muscle. Now, let's move over to the sliding filament theory of muscle contraction. So this diagram shows a typical muscle structure. It shows this muscle, which is a bundle of muscle fiber. Then we have muscle fibers with repeating patterns. These are repeating patterns. The repeating patterns are as shown. Now we will start discussing about the repeating unit, that is sarcomere. So this is about sarcomere. We'll see now. This is about sarcomere we will discuss. This is one sarcomere it is showing. So now we'll discuss about this repeating pattern of sarcomere. So the thick filaments are located, you can see, in the central region of the sarcomere. This is the thick filament. You can see thick filament in the sarcomere region. The orderly parallel arrangement. These are the parallel arrangements which give rise to the dark band known as A band. So you can see this is A band. Then the thin filaments containing the protein actin are attached to either end of the sarcomere to a structure known as, you can see, Z disc, and we also call it as Z line. So these are Z disc or Z line. Then two successive Z lines, they define the limits of one sarcomere. So how you see that this is one sarcomere? It is defined by the two successive Z lines. So these sarcomeres are nothing but repeating patterns. You can see this. This is sarcolemma, and in that this muscle fiber we have these repeating units of sarcomeres which form one myofibril. So further, this is sarcomere. You can see now. So we have seen these two Z lines. They are making one sarcomere. Now the Z line consists of short elements which interconnect the thin filaments from the adjoining sarcomeres and thus provide an anchoring point for the thin filaments. This you can see here. So it is showing thick and thin filaments. The thin filaments extend from the Z line towards the center of the sarcomere where they overlap on the they are overlapping on the thick filaments. So thin and thick filaments are shown and they are overlapping each other. Now this I band, we'll discuss about the I band. It represents the region between the ends of the A band of two adjoining sarcomeres. This band contains the portion of the thin filaments which do not overlap with the thick filament, and it is bisected by the Z line. In this diagram also you can see it is clearly showing the I band. This I band. Now as the muscle becomes shorter, you can see this now muscle is getting shorter. The thick and thin filaments slide past each other, but the lengths of the individual thick and thin filaments do not change. So their length is not changing, but they slide passing each other. So slowly the width of A band remains constant, corresponding to the constant length of the thick filaments. And if you see in this diagram where this is pointing, the I band narrows as thick filaments approach the Z line. So you can see here, as this thin filaments move past the thick filaments, the width of the H zone, you can see the H zone. So the width of the H zone between the ends of the thin filaments becomes smaller, and it may disappear altogether when the thin filaments meet at the center of sarcomere. So you can see this completely, this I band disappears. Now with further shortening, new banding patterns appear as their filaments from opposite ends of the sarcomere begin to overlap. These changes in banding pattern during contraction is known as sliding filament theory of muscle contraction. Most skeletal muscle is attached to bone, and its contraction is responsible for supporting and moving the skeleton. You can see in this diagram also, it is the cyclic binding between the myosin and myosin heads of the thick filament and actin of thin filaments that result in cross bridge formation. You can see here cross bridge formation is occurring where myosin cross bridges attached to the actin filaments. So this results in the contraction of muscle, or we can say sliding filament theory of muscle contraction. So in this case, what happens? Finally, actin is pulled together and sarcomere length is reduced. So that results in cross-section bridge formation and allows force production or muscle shortening. So in this, basically muscle gets shortens, or we can say it contracts. Okay, it applies some force. So it allows force production, or we can say muscle contraction. So this was all in this lecture. In next lecture we will discuss more about this muscular system and what are the different sources of signals in these muscular system, and then we will study for electromyogram, that is the electrical signal related with the movement of muscles. So till then we'll end this lecture. Thank you.